It's time to wake up. The show is about to start. With lots of stories about boo and the bitter heart. When it comes to Joanne, no, you won't find no faults. But if you mess with the bull, you might get the Schultz. It's time for morning. It's morning with Bill and Joe. It's time for morning. It's gonna be a heck of a show. It's Bill and Joe.
Good morning and welcome to Mornin with Bill and Joe. I'm Joe.
I guess I'm Bill. How are you?
I'm good. Beautiful start to the week.
Oh yeah, how's that?
I don't know. It's sunny.
Oh, I thought something actually personally good was happening for you, and I was about to get excited and sad.
No, not
gotcha.
really. No. How about you? How was your week? What's going on?
I was on. I told you our old pal John Phillips, former Red Eye regular, longtime KABC host in LA. That's a part of the country that's got different times than we do, which always confuses me.
Weird.
He had me on. He was really nice. He gave us multiple YouTube plugs and independently, without me even knowing, actually watches the thing. So I was sort of shocked by that. But
well, I'm sure he just, to do his due diligence, watched, 10 minutes of one thing, and there you have it.
I mean, but I don't even know what due diligence is.
Yeah.
So there you go. So that alone very much surprised me.
Just
but that
the
was
fact
very nice.
that due is in there makes me excited.
Why am I giving you that? That was so cheap.
I don't know.
I can't believe I laughed at that.
Yeah.
What's new with you?
Gosh, last week was my sister's birthday, so I went to Jersey.
Happy birthday, Mary.
Which was great. We had a beach day. I got to see
Nice.
my nephew. Get this. My nephew takes swim lessons once a week.
Cute.
And, my sister has to go in the pool. He's not even 2. You're just holding this kid the whole time in the pool, but it's to introduce them
really
to the water.
young for classes like that.
I don't know. You're supposed to start them young, I guess. And it's not one of those classes
Like
where...
drugs.
Yes. It's not one of those classes where you throw them in the pool and they have to learn to float on their back, like survival swimming for newborns. No, it's not that. But at this place, I ran into E-Rock. He has a kid, and his kid also takes swimming lessons there.
What?
Isn't that wild?
That is crazy.
Well, and at first, he was confused to see me there because I don't live in Jersey, nor do I have a kid. So
valid, fair.
It's funny. He was like, so what are you doing here? I'm like, I'm just here to watch the kids. You? Same? It could be really creepy, just like 2 adults just hanging out.
Got your reading glasses on.
But yeah, so that was a sort of random run-in.
Well, good for you for pretending that your nephew was there, and not revealing you the entirety of your hobby.
But it is just funny because my nephew looks nothing like my sister or I. So it could just seem like we stole a child just so we could hang out at the kiddie pool.
I've got all of my nephews are tall, and my niece and nephew have very blonde and long hair. So yeah, exactly. Anytime I'm around them, people want to call cops because they don't look like anything like Uncle Bill. So I definitely empathize.
Okay, so have you seen the most recent South Park episode?
Parts. I've not seen the whole thing, but I need to.
So I watched it because Douglas watched it, and he was like, you have to watch this. It is very funny. This deal just happened. It is the 27th season now of South Park. The deal is from Paramount. Is that right?
Yes.
Which is a part of CBS.
Right.
And
it will be after the merger is done or something like that, right?
Yes. So The LA Times and other outlets report that this deal for 50 new episodes is worth $1.5 billion. Now, this comes on the heels, or I think this deal actually went through first, and then Paramount settled with Trump. So Trump was suing, I guess, CBS or parent company or whatever. And
Right.
they settled for
60
$16 million.
Yeah.
So, in light of all of that, this episode, definitely watch it if you haven't. Basically,
Yeah, well.
Trump is suing the town of South Park because the residents are challenging the presence of Jesus Christ, the actual person, in its elementary school. And Jesus tells them that they should settle, saying, "You guys saw what happened to CBS. Yeah, well, guess who owns CBS? Paramount. Do you really want to end up like Colbert?" Before that, in the episode, Trump is seen in bed with Satan with a very, very tiny penis. They actually show a tiny penis. At one point, well, that's the thing. Believe it was Trey Parker said that the network wanted him to blur the penis, and he said absolutely not. And so they didn't. As I was watching it, Bill, I was like,
what you believe in.
How did this stuff get past? Like, how did it get past network? Just because I watched the documentary on South Park that came out a little while ago, and
I haven't seen
that was a big deal for them. With every week that they're releasing something, they need approval for certain things, or they have to tweak certain things in order to get network approval. So the fact that like all this was approved is kind of mind-boggling to me, being that they just caved to Trump. Anyway, Bill, I know you're wondering, what does the White House have to say about this episode?
No, I wanted to know more about what Trump's cartoon penis looked like.
Well, at one point it does have eyes and talks.
You're not kidding.
No. So the White House issued a statement saying this show hasn't been relevant for over 20 years and is hanging on by a thread with uninspired ideas in a desperate attempt for attention. President Trump has delivered on more promises in just 6 months than any other president in our country's history. And no fourth-rate show can derail President Trump's hot streak. It's interesting when they say the show hasn't been relevant and it's hanging on by a thread, when they just received a $1.5 billion deal. But the other great thing about this is when the town decides to settle, they have also agreed to show some pro-Trump PSAs. They show the pro-Trump PSA, and it says 1 of 50. Now, there are 50 episodes in this deal, so I wonder if they're going to show one of these in every single episode.
Wow.
And in this one, it is Trump naked with his tiny penis wandering through the desert saying, "Even though I have a very tiny penis, I have a great love for America," or something to that effect. So yeah. Yeah. It
wow.
It
All right,
is
yeah,
wild.
You've convinced me. I'm watching this one.
It's wild watching it. And here's the thing, there is a point when you're watching it when you're like, ooh, oh no, this isn't good. And that's the problem. That's the problem, that my immediate reaction to seeing it is, oh no, are they going to get in trouble?
Right.
For showing Trump in that light. That is a problem, because in other countries with certain leaders,
yes,
that is a problem.
Point.
But in America, that's not supposed to be a problem.
Right. Yeah.
And them doing this whole episode is really, I think, highlighting that fact.
Wow. That's the best sales job I've ever seen you do on anything. I'm definitely going to watch that. Very good point. I hate to say it, 90% of the reason I want to watch is I really want to see what his penis looks like. But no, you're totally right. That's kind of where we are at right now. And they basically, and essentially, I'm sure as the episode covers it, CBS basically just bribed the Trump administration. I mean, they were being sued via an edit in 60 Minutes, which any news source does. It was during a Kamala Harris interview, and they edited it to shorten it, really. It wasn't even to make her look good or anything like that. But the $6 million, or maybe it was 60, I don't even know, was to sort of bribe the administration to help them approve the merger between them and Paramount. And you're seeing a lot of this right now. Trump, to distract everyone, allegedly, from the whole Epstein thing, immediately went from, and it's always like bells and whistles. It's always whatever he hears last, whatever the last thing he was absorbing. But someone had mentioned to him how much they missed the fact that the Redskins were called the Redskins rather than the now Commanders, the football team. And he's like, yeah, that I don't like that either. And then like a couple days later, for whatever reason, and presidents are not supposed to have this kind of power, but because it's DC based, he has some say on them coming back from Maryland and moving the franchise back into DC proper. And he refuses to help sign off on a deal, which again, I don't understand how he would have any power
authority
within it, unless they change their name back from the Commanders to the Redskins, and that is where it is at right now. And you're seeing bits and pieces, and less bits and pieces, bigger pieces like this all over the place, and it's a bold new world.
There's another funny bit in the episode, Bill, that you'll like, where there is a 60-minute segment, and they are covering the sort of protesting happening in South Park, and they're like, we're just reporting on the news. We do not feel one way or another. And it's like these hosts are like, just don't know what to say, don't want to get in trouble. It's all very smartly done.
And scary. I mean, great. I, for one, welcome these times where we should be more tentative.
It's wild. I mean, you should watch this documentary because
I didn't even know about the documentary. I want to see that.
It's one thing that SNL does an episode in a week, but for South Park to do it, and you have people doing the animations,
right,
and the voiceover, and then when there's edits, you have to fix all of those things. It's a lot. And they managed to do it. That is wild.
You're so right. The style of their animation obviously lends itself to being a little quicker. But the fact that they can be that topical and that relevant within a couple of days, and also and still make it funny, that's commendable. That's something else. I remember, this shows you how old South Park is. I remember when it first became a thing was they did a Christmas special. And it was essentially the South Park kids as they kind of are today. Same style of animation. But the whole thing was basically a wrestling match between Santa and Jesus. So that Jesus character has been around since the beginning.
Sure.
And Matt and Trey just did that as a one-off. And George Clooney got a videotape. This is before there was anything, there was the internet, and they certainly didn't have a TV deal. And George Clooney had copies sent as a Christmas gift to friends of his, and then they would forward them to different other people in Hollywood, and that's how they kind of became a thing. And that's how Comedy Central finally hired them, because this videotape went all around Hollywood.
So you're saying I should film myself doing monologues, send it to George Clooney. He will, of course, love it. And then share it. And then I'll make $1.5 billion?
With orange body makeup and a very tiny attached penis.
Yeah.
If you could pull all of that off.
Doable.
Yeah.
For $1.5 billion? I think so.
I feel like you can pull it off. But yeah, that's the story. I didn't really meet them, but I kind of met them. Our own Dan Bova and I went to the premiere of Team America, World Police.
Sure.
Remember the puppet movie that they did that took a weird amount of time. I think they didn't know what they were getting into when they were doing, I forget what we call them, string puppets. Apparently this is quite the ordeal to do something like this. And they did a Q&A with the press afterwards, but the theater was full of hundreds of people. And, we all loved it, and it was very funny. But someone asked, did you ever see it?
Team America?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, apparently there's only one way to make string puppets. And you have this whole setup that's the puppet, and then you have this rubber thing that you order and make, and either the thing looks like the actor that you want it to look like. Like in the case of Team America, they had Sean Penn and George Clooney, and those puppets looked exactly like him. But it's very much guesswork. And so when they got the one for Matt Damon, they're like, and then pardon my words, but I'm quoting them. They're like, because Matt Damon as a puppet in the movie had a bunch of lines and maybe he was very thoughtful. But when they put that thing over the puppet and they saw what Matt Damon looked like, they're like, oh, he's got to be retarded. Like, that's the only way we can get away with this. And so Matt Damon had been reduced from having this thoughtful role to, what was his line, Joe? Matt Damon! Anytime they go to Matt, what are your thoughts on this crisis? I'm Matt Damon! That was it.
You know what I think it is? He doesn't have many facial characteristics or traits that are distinctive enough to, once you put whatever rubber on a thing, to be like, yes, that's him. He's just like a simple white man, is how I would describe.
He has a simple white. Face. You're not wrong. Yeah, he has a sort of just a simple white guy look. There's nothing you can put finger on as far as to like his particular look. Yeah. And the follow up to that is I've seen more than one interview with Matt Damon where he's like, they'll ask him about that. And he's like, yeah, there is not a day that goes by. I'm like, I'm not in an airport where someone will go up to me and go, Matt Damon. And part of me's like, well, he didn't really deserve this. It's like, for this to be his lot in life, I feel that's a bit much. But yeah, there you go.
At least it's like kind of funny, as
very,
opposed to if you're playing a serial killer, people coming up to you and being like, "Don't kill me" or something. There could be worse things for people to yell at you in an airport.
Matt Damon. I don't know. I'm trying to like put myself in that position. Like maybe people do and I'm not aware of it, but like just coming up to me and being like, "Bill Schultz, yeah, Bill Schultz." Maybe even by saying that now, but yeah. Thoughts and prayers to Matt Damon and his family. His kids have to hear that,
Yeah. Well, who else should be getting our thoughts and prayers? Speaking about other rich white people.
Good.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yes.
This is a down date, you guys. I know everyone's been wondering, gosh.
Well, it's also a what's in the box.
And a what's in the box, sure.
Yeah.
What has happened to Astronomer? This company that just got rid of their CEO for canoodling with its head of HR. Well, they might be the smartest company or have the smartest marketing team.
Seriously.
Because Astronomer enlists Gwyneth Paltrow as their temporary spokesperson amid the Coldplay viral scandal. Now, for those who don't know, and again, if you don't know, you don't watch this show very often.
Right.
But Gwyneth Paltrow consciously uncoupled from Chris Martin several years ago.
Wait, not to interrupt, but was it consciously or unconsciously? She consciously uncoupled.
Yes.
Okay, good. That's
right. I believe that was the.
No, I think you're right. I think it was consciously.
So recently on Astronomer's social medias, they posted an ad starring Paltrow as their temporary spokesperson to let the public know what exactly the now popular company does. She says, "Thank you for your interest in Astronomer. I've been hired on a very temporary basis to speak on behalf of the 300 plus employees at Astronomer.
So weird.
Astronomer has gotten a lot of questions over the last few days, and they want me to answer the most common ones." So now what's funny is that they're not actual questions about the company. First question, OMG, what the F? And she sidesteps it and answers, "We're thrilled that so many people have an interest in data workflow automation. We'll now be returning to what we do best, delivering game-changing results for our customers." Just the fact that she's literally just describing what this company does is very funny to me. Bill, I want to know how much they paid Gwyneth Paltrow to do this.
That is the only thing I wanted to know. She is, we were talking last week because, for newcomers, or newcomer, I probably shouldn't say plural, all we ever talk about is Gwyneth Paltrow. It's kind of our one-stop shop for all things. We are the one-stop shop for all things Gwyneth. And we were discussing last week, because you were a little puzzled as to why anyone would do a biography of her. And
Yeah.
I responded with the fact that she's basically the new Martha Stewart. I mean, the lady is basically worth about $1 billion because of Goop. So, yes, I think there's no amount of money, right? So I think that she kind of, just for the fact that,
Hmm.
this all happened at a Chris Martin concert. That's her ex husband. And they've unconsciously coupled and apparently still get along. I think it might have been less the money and more she, in her own weird brain, thought this was kind of funny.
Yeah.
You know?
Honestly, yeah. Because the reality is, Astronomer, they just said, is a 300-person company. That is not very big.
No!
That is like half of a department of most companies. So I don't actually think they could have offered her a lot of money, but I think they pitched it as, you'll be in the cultural zeitgeist, you'll stay relevant, people will think you're funny. And what we learned from her biography is that she took that role in Shallow Hal because she didn't want to be boxed in as one thing. She wanted to do a comedy.
Good point.
She wanted to make people laugh. So, I mean, maybe she has that still that urge inside of her to, like, do something out of the box. Haha, what's in the box?
Wow. Listen
Thank
to your
you.
inner dialogue. All right. Question. Does she throw this by Chris Martin first before doing it?
Um, no, I don't think so, because she doesn't
That's
mention
very consciously or
Coldplay.
uncoupled.
She doesn't mention Coldplay at all. She doesn't mention her ex-husband.
Well, she doesn't mention
I
the affair.
Yeah, well,
You know,
exactly.
it's all
So,
alluded, but huh?
I just, yeah, I don't know. I like it.
Me
I
too.
think it is a really great response from this company. Not only a response to what happened, but a great way to keep the interest going in their company. The reality is, most of the people who are interested in this drama do not work in, what did she call it? Data flow? I don't know.
I
They're
still don't know
not in
what they
that
do.
business. Yeah.
Yeah, I just know
So,
that it's called Astronomer, and I figured it had something to do with NASA. So I have no idea. So in that sense, I guess the PSA didn't help, but crazy. Yeah, boy. I hate that it's a very millennial or whatever the generation is that's younger than you, brats. For they all say, I hear it all the time now. Oh man, we're living in a simulation. Simulation this, simulation that. And I always roll my eyes at that. But then stuff like this happens. I'm like, maybe we are. This is just very strange. Very, very strange. But God bless Gwyneth. As you know, I am Team Gwyneth. She is
yeah.
who she is. So that's another example of why I'm for all things her and whatever Goop sells. I'm buying a vagina candle tonight.
Just one?
50
Nice. Yes. You're going to light one for each episode of
for
South
each
Park.
episode, yes.
Um, Bill, I really liked the story you found about Disney
Aw.
adults, Disney singles.
Boy, I may or may not be adjacent to one of those people. Yes. And Joe, I mean, you say it more than anyone. There's somebody out there for everyone. And
Yes.
if not, this is certainly proof. Um, Get ready, Disney fans. Boy, this must be from People. Oh no, Daily Mail.
Wow.
I guess Daily Mail starts their sentences like that. Get ready, Disney fans, because there's a dating app coming that's designed to help single theme park enthusiasts find their happily ever after. I wonder if Gwyneth wrote this. The app called Single Riders is set to start beta testing later this year and will launch to everyone in early 2026. Creator and self-proclaimed Disney adult Joe Lastoria II, there's two of them,
Oh,
ladies,
no.
uh, 32, so of course it's Daily Mail, from Orlando, Florida. Oh, wow. Boy, he could not have picked a better place to live. Spoke exclusively about it with Daily Mail, explained that the idea came to him during his quest to find a love. What a quest it must have been. He spent nearly 2 years looking for the right person to help bring it to life, and eventually he met tech genius Adam Tucker, 37, from New Jersey through a mutual friend. They clicked immediately. Joe explained not only is he incredibly talented, but he also believes in the magic of Disney just as much as I do. They Users will be able to filter matches based on shared interests and even be able to search by proximity and by specific theme parks, whether it's Disney, Universal, or others. Okay, so that tells me that perhaps Disney isn't secretly funneling money into this, as it also
Mm.
involves their competitor. We're involved. We're involving. We're including a lot of friends, events, features for people who aren't looking for romance but want to find like-minded park buddies. A lot of people love going to Disney and other theme parks and don't have someone to go with or feel awkward going alone. I love going alone. This app can help them find these connections too. Joe, what are your wonderful Disney magic thoughts on this?
I think this is brilliant. I think it is so smart. I can't believe it hasn't been done before. There are a lot of Disney adults, people who go to the
Yes.
parks who do not have children,
Yes.
who go, oftentimes they're couples and they go together, maybe
Pins
a
are a big
friend
thing.
group,
They like the
pins,
pins.
the pin
Yeah.
trading, sure.
Yeah.
And this just makes sense because similar to being like a dog person or a cat person, you really shouldn't be in a relationship with someone who has such an affinity for something when you don't. So, like, if on a first date found out that the guy I was seeing had 3 cats, I would have to say bye-bye just because I'm not into pets.
What if the guy's roommate had a cat?
Well, that's fine. I mean, I lived with a cat for a bit. My roommate had one, but it wasn't
Forgot about
mine.
that.
It wasn't sleeping in my bed or waking me up in the morning, like.
Yeah. Yeah.
But similarly, there are some people who, when they find out someone is a Disney adult, it is like an immediate, like a reflex, like a ugh, like an ick.
Yeah.
And so they're not for you. So, opposite side of the coin, there are people who actively want that because they love it so much. They love to share in that. And I hope this gets past the beta testing and it works. Of course, I am also looking forward to the Netflix documentary on how it goes wrong, but the murders that happen as a result. But that you're going to have that with any new app, really.
My dad, to your point, my dad used to tell me that before he married my mom, he had dated a girl for a while. And at the time, he had Cubs season tickets. And he would bring her to almost every game.
Oh, wow.
And initially, he thought, oh, it's great that she's as big of a baseball fan as I am. And towards the end of the season, and apparently it was back when the Cubs were kind of okay, but towards the end of the season, at some point, my dad muttered, another base on ball, so I walk. And she's like, what's that? And at that point, he realized, oh, this poor woman, she doesn't know anything about baseball.
But Bill,
She had stayed.
Yeah, but wouldn't you find that flattering? Like, clearly she,
I would feel terrible, though. Like, there's a guilt. Especially, baseball's doing everything it can to make the games a little quicker. They weren't that quick back then.
Yeah.
And then her entire summer, just to sort of go along to get along, she was going to something that she had no idea about. And my dad's like, oh, that's great. Look at that. I'm like,
wow. Your dad
force out at a second.
Your dad must have been such a catch back then for a woman to sit
he's
through
a
that.
schultz. Come on. He may or may not also be a Disney guy. I'll leave that for conjecture. But
yeah.
I always blew my mind. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Talk about trying to find similar things that you have in common on right off the bat. Jill, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
You're a cold prickly. Some might say that there's a big empty hole where a soul should be. Some, not me, of course. But I wonder, and God knows you and Douglas have been together back for a long time.
Yeah.
How back in the day did you flirt? Or have you ever? Or were you just sort of again, the big empty hole where a soul should be and just sort of sit there half dead at the end of the bar or wherever and just let things come to you? Did you ever flirt? Did you ever actually? I'm wondering. I'm trying to figure out trying to be a human being.
Now it's so long ago that I used to. I don't do the things I used to do at bars and when I'm out.
Okay.
which was generally like making eye contact. Oh my God. Now I actively try not to make eye contact
I
with
know
people.
this.
I don't want to insert myself in anything. But no, yeah, it would be like making eyes at someone, maybe a little smile. It's the glance and then the look away, like you're not trying too hard. Then if you're like actively chatting with someone, I think, yeah, like a physical touch thing, like a hug or a something, a
So
hand on the
you would
knee.
actually put a hand on like a shoulder or something if you actually were interested in the
Oh
person.
my God, you're so funny. And it comes with a hand. It comes with a hand, the compliment.
Interesting.
Laughing. Guys love when you laugh at their jokes, even when they're not funny. So, little things like that.
Interesting. Well, like, because I do kind of remember, I know that you and Douglas had a showmance.
Yes.
But I know, like, at least from what I recall you telling me, I don't necessarily think you put any type of moves on him, and certainly if you did, he wouldn't have known. But I do recall you saying that you sort of had this sort of like epiphany, like, if he wasn't there on a certain day,
Yes.
you would be like, oh, I wish he was there. And so I'm trying to wonder, like, back in like how you were, because certainly he probably didn't pick up on it, but how you tried to sort of show Douglas that you were sort of into him.
Well, I sent him an email.
I didn't know this.
So there was one day when he wasn't at rehearsal, and my
I love
story
this.
goes, it felt like when your crush didn't show up in math class.
Yeah,
And
I
you're
remember
like,
that.
oh, huh. And it made me realize, oh, I must really like this person. So then I
It's kinda
sent
cute.
him an email just to detail what he missed in rehearsal. Now, that is not my job. That is the stage manager's job. There is actually a person whose job it is to do that. The fact that I was emailing him was like completely unnecessary. However,
It's kind of cute.
to cover my tracks so it didn't look like I was into him, because
Sure,
you
sure.
don't want to come on too strong, I also emailed the other person who wasn't in rehearsal. Just so it looked like I was
Did you
being
CC him
fair.
to show him
No.
that you were?
No. But they were friends, so I knew,
Okay,
they would
gotcha.
talk. But yeah,
Well, then how did he know?
he
again,
knew.
Cole
He
Brickley.
knew from that.
He knew
Very
that?
clearly knew from that.
Really? I wouldn't
Yeah.
have picked that up.
And then I think also other people in the cast kind of clued him in. But at the
But
time,
what were
he
you
was-
doing that made it so obvious to them?
Oh, I told them that I liked him.
Gotcha. I thought it was
Yeah.
just like they looked over at you and you were doing like much like a Disney princess. Like
No. But no, at the time he was dating someone else.
I forgot about that too.
Yeah. And so then he broke it off because, hello, look at me. And the rest is history.
Is he into Disney?
No, he like
Because you do
me.
look like a Disney princess.
Thank you. He like me thinks it's a bit strange for
Wow. So
people.
wait, just to be clear, you're yucking other people's yum? Is that what you're doing?
No. I'm yucking what's yucky, okay? Okay. No, it's what I really think it is
I do not align with that for anyone out there. That's
I
into it.
really like a deal. I don't like
Right.
spending exorbitant amounts of money or feeling like I'm getting ripped off. Now, here's the thing. Someone might say, but Joanne, you love penny slots.
That's a deal.
ripoff. That's you just wasting your money. Yeah, but I know that. It is literally called gambling. And for me, that's like entertainment. But at Disney, everything it's so expensive. You are paying. They have these lightning link passes or things. You're paying to get on a ride before other people, even though you've already paid to get in the park and ride these rides. Oh, you don't want to wait for 2 hours in line. And why is the line 2 hours long? Because it's filled with adults. Okay, so pay a little more money, and then you can choose the time that you want to ride the ride. And it's
This is
just
their
like,
penny
is this
slots.
is
This
this
their penny
fun?
slots.
Is this, I don't know, but because there's no other way. Like, you have to spend certain amounts of money on certain things when you're in the park.
That's
I could
their
go
Atlantic
into the
City.
casino, but I could go to Atlantic City and just watch other people play.
You
I
are
gus you could do that in a park too.
truly
I
one of the
don't
weirdest
know.
people I've ever met in my entire life.
I don't know.
will
It just
stand by
feels
that.
like such a racket.
So again, you're using penny slots as a way to show people that that's your thing, and yet you're
Yeah.
calling Disney a racket.
Yo, if you play penny slots for long enough, they give you free drinks, okay? Okay, does
Yeah.
Disney do that? I don't think so.
Well, this will make you hate them more. I have sadly done not one, not two, but at least 4 separate features on all things Disney World. I did that Disney
Sure.
marathon, dressed
Yeah.
up with very different princesses. I
Yeah.
drink around the Epcot, not once but twice. Once for a college magazine called Co-Ed. It was like Maxim, but for college kids or something.
Sure.
And then again for Yahoo Travel, and some other one about like the demise of Pleasure Island or something like that. And so it used to be when my folks would want to go and I was somehow dragged along, I'm like, well, at the very least I'll get a deal and perhaps some free tickets because I would present myself as a member of the press and I would get a media pass for maybe
Sure.
a 2-day or a 3-day one. They are so big and so popular now that they will no longer afford that to me for various
Wow.
reasons, which is
Yeah.
just mind blowing. Like, yeah, we don't need it.
Although I wonder if it's just been replaced by like influencer perks. You know,
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
media doesn't get stuff anymore, but influencers can get into the parks for free and get special deals.
I just used to be grandfathered in for old
Yeah.
media, but yeah, no, they won't do it anymore, and really bothers me.
Yeah, you should just-
makes me Disney angry.
Become an influencer, Bill.
I
I
think
think
that's
you'd be
the goal.
a great one.
How would I influence people?
Oh God. Actually, your whole thing should be you're a de-influencer.
As in Disney influencer?
Oh, ooh, yeah.
You like that way too much.
Gosh,
Speaking
we are a
of,
think tank.
This is, I guess, a couples counseling.
I've got a master's in psychology. Look at my diploma on the wall. I am really great. I am really great at couples counseling. Hey, Joanne, argue with herself, girl. You crazy.
Research on sexual performance anxiety has typically focused on men's problems of getting or maintaining an erection. Oh, that's very colorful language. Psychology Today, our old pal. Because it fears that they will not be able to perform satisfactorily in bed. Traditionally, men are heavily socialized to be sexual experts. It's the lot we lead. Always ready to pursue all sexual opportunities whenever they occur and to be great in bed. That pressure can kill an erection, plus, more importantly, reduce desire, satisfaction, and pleasure. Yet women feel these pressures along the same lines. I don't think they do. They are socialized to look incredibly sexy, okay, to be up for anything sexually, and to be highly sexually responsive, meaning able to have an orgasm because of their partner's magic with minimal effort. We studied, how many do you think, Joe?
2000.
228 couples. So I guess that
Weird.
would be a little over 400 people. And
456.
found that when one partner felt high performance anxiety, both partners experienced lower satisfaction. Separate interviews with men and women about this type of sexual problem make clear that there is a running dialogue. It's just that they control how they look, worry that their partner would be disappointed, focus intently on their partner's expressions to judge how well they were doing, and often urgently wanted to hurry up their desire, arousal, or orgasm to get on pace, blah, 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 blah. Many of their responses made us worry that people feel they have to be exceptional sexually to be normal. Who's us? Which, of course, is absurd and statistically impossible. That's the edited version. I thought that it was interesting that they assumed that women had this issue too. I still don't think they do. But Joe, what are your thoughts?
Well, you know, I've said many times before in the past, I will not reward bad behavior.
Yes, I do like that. Yeah.
So there's no faking anything. And I really think it becomes an issue when women do, because you are rewarding bad behavior. These men then think they are excellent
Yeah.
and will continue to do whatever thing is in fact not excellent. So it's better to just be honest and communicative. That's the thing. People don't really communicate about what they need, because, talking isn't always sexy. Like
Yeah.
in the moment,
Right.
some people don't want to feel like they're being taught or being coached.
Yes.
Other
Oh,
people,
particularly guys, the male ego thing.
yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. And the tough thing is too, like, unless you are in some sort of multi-member relationship, it's usually
Polyamory.
only two people in a bedroom at one time. The dynamics between two people are going to be different between whoever those two people are. Okay. You can learn whatever tricks by watching videos or things. However, you don't know what's going to mesh until you're with that other person. And so, yeah, it literally is a horizontal tango, or what do they call it?
Vertical, horizontal. No, yeah.
With a different partner, the dance is different every time. And so sometimes it takes a little while to learn the other person's style, if you will. But yeah, we all just need to take the pressure off and just have a little more fun. Freestyle, if you will.
It's very, very
I'm
thoughtful
really
and well
mixing
said.
metaphors.
You really are. Yeah, well, without getting into too much detail, because God knows you and America don't want that. But I will overall say that I had been in the past lucky enough to have dated several women that I know certainly weren't faking, because they were like yourself, horrible, horrible, selfish people.
Yeah.
And so they would never do that for me. But unfortunately, for something like that, the thing about women is that it does seem to it's a little more difficult for you guys than it is with guys. It's the whole my line always, just happy to be there, and we usually get to where we're going to go. But then when you get used to that, maybe dating women that where it's a little easier for them, and then sometimes you're with someone that isn't. For a lazy person, perhaps like myself, it's always sort of like a because it's just you got a whole other there's a lot of bag of tricks things that you got to figure out how to do, and I get tired. And again, I'm very lazy. And who will weep for me, Joe? Who will weep for me? I feel like I'm the real hero.
Yeah. No.
It's very high.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, well, I think I am. You women are very, very different animal than we are when it comes to that. And I know I'm making some bold statements here.
Yeah. It is kind of unfortunate that it's not as straightforward with women.
It's truly not, yeah.
And then we also are the ones who have to deal with the most pain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like monthly with periods and then childbirth. Like, shouldn't God have blessed us with just a straightforward way to feel pleasure when needed?
You're not wrong. And I have, to that point, and I think I've told you this before too, I never understood the evolutionary thing of how horrific childbirth is. Because as you know, there are so many mammals out there that will be walking along in a field, then bloop, baby pops out, and it's as if, they just took a dump. It was as simple as that.
Yeah.
And yet for female human mammals, it remains not only possibly it could be life-threatening, but it is, no matter what, always horrifically painful. And to me, that doesn't make any evolutionary sense. You would think at this point, to where we have been, where we are now, where we have evolved, where it would no longer even remotely be a painful thing. Because, and now we're seeing the effects. I mean, more and more people are choosing, thank God, not to do it because we're aware.
Well, I think that there's a delicate balance, because if it wasn't painful, the world would be completely overpopulated.
I don't like that.
I have to imagine, like you said, that some people are like, nope, my life is at risk. It hurts. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Also, the burdens are not just physical, but
what if he's a jerk or she's a jerk?
Exactly. Financial, whatever. Mm-hmm. But we also then are tied emotionally to these beings we create, the love that we have for them. I sound so like...
Yeah, you're not a human. Yeah.
The love we have for these babies.
You're playing the role of a human being. I see it.
Makes us forget the pain.
Yes.
And then we're like, well, we'll have another. So I think that physiologically it's done in a way where, 2.5 kids.
that's
is the average.
And it's not. I think to go against that, I don't think it's necessarily sometimes they have more than one because of the love that they had for the original one. I think it's more like, should we give it another shot?
Yeah.
Like round one didn't go. That's always what I thought about with my folks. I'm like, why in the hell did they have another?
Yeah.
Because I was not a whole lot of fun. And I think it was because of that. I think it was less, this one was so great. Let's do it again. Have more. It was more like, maybe round two won't be so as bad as this. Let's practice makes perfect.
For my sister, it's kind of opposite. I mean, her son is the sweetest, happiest, like best little boy.
Oh no, this is gonna make you want to have one.
No, where she's like, should we have another? Because what if he then hates his sibling, turns into a little monster, and, the other kid then isn't as great, whatever.
That makes sense.
And I said, what if this second kid could be the one that finds the cure to cancer, and you are not having him? And that, my friend, is an issue.
You're part of the problem. I'm all about less people, not more.
So there you have it.
And also, it also leads me to believe that now you're thinking of having your own little cure for cancer.
Developing that cure sounds very expensive, so still on the fence.
Well, if it requires that amount of money to help people, the rest of the world, I can see it. That's for you.
Have you looked at the cost of a crib? Wow.
Well, what else you got there?
Here is More You Joe. I will be heading to Boston this weekend. A little work, a little pleasure, meeting up with some friends. If y'all have any Boston recommendations.
Who are you talking to? Of course I do.
Oh, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to all of you.
Yeah.
Let me know. I think I am going. The weather isn't looking so great, but I am going to a Red Sox game.
Oh, wow. I'm impressed you got tickets. That's very difficult.
Yeah, my friend got tickets, and I was like, should I wear all my Yankees stuff to the game?
No, you shouldn't.
And Douglas goes, you hate talking to people, so why would you ever want to do that? So probably
he's
not.
As usual correct. Good segue. I gotta start promoting the hell out of this one. On September 30th, I will be in Boston. Go on to the Paul Revere House, people. And here's why. Because I am going to give you a historical talk. I think there's going to be audio-visual elements, although I need someone to help me with that part, where I will be talking about all things William Dobbs, who wrote with Paul Revere. I may or may not be related to him. And so I will be in Boston for that, probably at a very cheap place because my per diem is very small. But, so September 30th, and give me advice on what to do when I'm there. But, go see that. Fans of fun. It's like Disney, but cheaper.
Yeah, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are there penny slots in Boston? I actually haven't looked that up yet. Is there a casino nearby?
I think they're all in Connecticut. There's got to be one now. But
I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, for listening, watching, commenting, all the things. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
I'm sure glad that's over.
That's all for this episode of Mornin with Bill and Joanne.
I wasn't even listening. I was listening to podcasts.
Shut up, Bill.
Subscribe to the show on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere you get podcasts.
Yeah, I wasn't listening either.
Very nice, Joanne. Touché.
For videos of this and other episodes, go to @MorninBillAndJoe on YouTube.
Bill, put the sword down.
Run, Joanne, run!
Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We would do it for you. Okay, that's a lie.
I never liked your show.
Sorry, wasn't listening. See ya.